this morning, sun's a bit hazy, checking the forecast, things looking crazy. A storm on the horizon, the pressure is low, gotta get moving, put on a show. The news is all buzzing, state of alert, but we've got a plan, we're ready to work. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. See a little fire or a rising flood, we're a well-oiled machine, we're running in the mud. From the city hall meetings to the rescue teams, turning worst case scenarios into hopeful dreams. We're training the people, stocking the gear, we're the team you can count on when trouble is near. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the faith. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. It's more than a job, it's a calling, you see. Prepared for the present and what's yet to be. Every second counts, we're ready to react for our communities. We're making an impact. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots, we're making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. Yeah, we're picking you up, we're ready to go. EMA, let's get this show on the road.
Let's get this show on the road, guys. What do you say? I say let's do this thing. Let's kick it to the curb. Let's kick it over the mountain. Let's get this show on the road, guys. My name is Ron Tyler. I'm the president of Emergency Management Associates. We're here for you 24/7 if need be. We've done it before, we'll do it again. We're here coming to you from the Area Command, in the studios of the Area Command, 392 miles west of Kitty Hawk Beach, North Carolina, guys. We're here for you right now. Thank you all for tuning in to our broadcast. We appreciate you being here. Right now we have Sharon and Rich Quake, who are my moderators and my dearest friends here. We appreciate them being here. We hope a lot more people join us before this program is over. We have 15 people watching, but just here in the chat, we only have 2 people. Guys, we're going to get this show on the road right now. First, I want to have us think and say prayers for Rebecca the Explorer. Those of you who know Rebecca, she has a channel of her own on YouTube. Go over there and show her channel some love as well. We appreciate her being here. She's not here on the channel today, I don't think, but if she is, please join us here in the chat. We want to pay respects to Rebecca's mother. Her mother died today. I never met her mother. She told me a little bit about her mother. Basically, Rebecca was on her own from a very young age. She was an orphan. Later in life, she found her mother. Now, guys, Rebecca has been through a lot of things in her life as of recent times. She's found out she has cancer again for the second time. Please pray for her health. Please pray for her family. Please also pray for her entire family, including her mother and other people in her family. They need our prayers, they need our help, they need our hugs as well. Guys, Rebecca's been a very dear friend of mine. Before I even moved here from Utah, Rebecca became a very dear friend. She helped me with my channel here. I owe a lot to Rebecca here, and I'm paying tribute to her mother right now. Her mother died earlier this day, so we want to keep Rebecca in our thoughts and prayers. Thank you, Rebecca, for all you do for me, all you do for our family, all you do for everyone. Rebecca is a great help to a lot of people. We love her very much. Rebecca, you have our prayers, you have our hugs, and our deepest admiration as well. Thank you for all you do, Rebecca. God bless you right now in terms of the loss of your mother, your dear mother, the woman who gave birth to you. God bless you, Rebecca. Thank you so much for all you do. Now, guys, we're going to be talking about earthquakes today. We're going to be talking about earthquakes. However, there are no major earthquakes to report. I want to bring that out in the very beginning. There are no major earthquakes to report anywhere around the globe. I'm just for a very short time going to bring up the USGS map here. I'm going to take down our EMA banner here. I'm going to take down our webcam as well. I want to show you exactly what's going on here. Okay. Now I'm going to blow this up so you can see it. I want you to be able to see this thing. Now, over here in the Aleutian Islands, very little is happening here. Over here, just west of Adak, Alaska, about almost 200 miles west of Adak, Alaska, 183 miles west of Adak, Alaska, we have a 3.94.0 earthquake. Further to the east here, a 3.1 earthquake here, 93 miles southwest of Adak, Alaska. Further over here to the east, a 3.2 earthquake, 3.2 small earthquake. The other one is 3.1. This is a 3.2. This is 39 miles southeast of Adak, Alaska. Adak, Alaska is right there, guys. Adak, Alaska is right there. This is a 3.2 earthquake here in blue. Now, there are a bunch of earthquakes here in Alaska. There are about 52 earthquakes here in Alaska today as of last count. There's nothing over here that's of any importance really to Anchorage, Alaska. There's no major earthquakes at all. There are no large earthquakes, nothing really pressing on Anchorage, Alaska at this point in time. So I'm going to back out here. The newest earthquake right here is over here on the southern side of the Alaska Peninsula. This is a 2.1 earthquake. This is 48 miles east-northeast of Chignik, Alaska. That's the latest earthquake that's hit here in Alaska. Let's back out here. Okay? Let's back out here. I want to go down here into the South Pacific here. Right here. This is a large earthquake. 34 miles east-northeast of Ohuna, Tonga. 34 miles east-northeast of Ohuna, Tonga. Right there. Okay? Large 5.1 earthquake here. Now this is a little bit offshore, as you can see. Now over here on Ohuna, Tonga, they may have felt some part of this earthquake, but not the whole thing. This is far enough off the shore, I believe, that the only thing they felt maybe was maybe moderate earthquake seismic waves. Moderate earthquake seismic waves. They were spared the inundation of a large earthquake wave. Large earthquakes can do a fair amount of damage. Moderate earthquakes can knock pictures off of shelves, can knock pictures off of walls, I should say, and knock knickknacks and books off of shelves. They can do some damage. But right here, I don't think this was anywhere close to do any major amount of damage here on any of the Tongan Islands. I believe this is far enough away not to do any damage to any of the islands here. Okay, that's pretty much one of the largest earthquakes that hit here in the world, around the globe. Further down here to the southwest, okay, this is a 4.4 earthquake here, south of the Fiji Islands. 4.4 earthquake here did no damage. The ocean waters absorbed the shockwaves of this quake. Now, guys, this earthquake was 239 miles deep. Still a fairly mellow quake. This was not as in the depths of the earth like we see most of these quakes. This is moderate depth. This earthquake is not going to propagate any other earthquakes. This earthquake is not going to propagate any other earthquakes. Further to the south here, the Kermadec Islands north of New Zealand. The Kermadec Islands north of New Zealand here, guys, this is a 4.6 earthquake here. The Kermadec Islands are a bird sanctuary. Only a bird sanctuary. Nobody lives here but the birds. This is far enough away from any of those islands, I believe. This did no damage to those islands at all. At all. The birds on the bird sanctuary part of the islands, they may have been a little shaken up, shake, rattle, and roll, but nothing happened to the birds, I don't think, at all. Further down here to the south, yesterday we talked significantly about the Kermadec, or about the islands of New Zealand here, the North and South Island here. Yes, they have minor earthquakes here. They have small 3.0 earthquakes and up to 3.4 earthquakes here on the New Zealand islands today. Nothing major at all, nothing moderate at all either. At all. Okay, let's back out here. USGS is not showing any earthquakes at all here in Indonesia or Papua New Guinea. They're not showing anything. That's a fallacy. There are 53 earthquakes here in Indonesia. 53 earthquakes here in Indonesia. They're not showing one of them. Most of these earthquakes are 3.0, 3.9. The last time I looked here earlier this afternoon, we had one 4.3 over here, east of Java, right here. East of Java, right here. 4.3 earthquake. All the other earthquakes here in Indonesia are small 3.0 to 3.9 earthquakes here. Small 3.0, 3.9 earthquakes here in Indonesia. Okay? There are some moderate earthquakes over here in the Philippines here. The southernmost island of the Philippines is called Mindanao, Philippines. Over here on the eastern shore of Mindanao, Philippines to the north, we've had two 4.2 and 4.3 earthquakes here offshore. Offshore, on the fault line, on the edge of the plate here. This fault line you see here in red is the edge of the Philippine plate. Now, we have earthquakes that go north from here. They move north through the Philippines over here to Taiwan and later to Japan. Over here in Taiwan, right here. Okay? Yesterday we did have a large earthquake here. Today we've had a 4.7 earthquake here. Okay? This is 3 miles supposedly east-southeast of Hualien City, Taiwan. Hualien City, Taiwan. The problem with that is Hualien City is up here. Hualien City is right here. Okay? This, guys, is a 4.7 earthquake. Did some damage here, but very little. Moderate earthquakes cause moderate damage. This is just barely offshore here. I'm sorry I misidentified Hualien City. This is Hualien City right here. Yesterday, that earthquake was further to the south down here. That was a 5.0 earthquake. This is offshore here. This is very much offshore here, 3 miles offshore. This is 4.7 earthquake. I don't believe it did any damage over here in Taiwan at all. Okay, that's the truth here. Now, we go north here. In Japan, south of Japan here. This is earthquake is southeast of Japan in what they call the Izu Islands. The Izu Islands here, southeast of Japan. This is a large 5.1 earthquake. Far enough away from any people, nobody even felt it. I understand the Izu Islands are unoccupied islands as well. Going up here into Honshu, Japan here. Guys, this was a 4.4 earthquake. 4.4 earthquake hit earlier this morning. 4.4 earthquake did very little damage. Again, this is a moderate earthquake. Moderate earthquakes do moderate damage, but this is far enough away from any people here. Unless there's small villages of people here in the mountains here, I don't believe anybody even had any damage, anything here. It's not far enough away from any people that would cause damage to. Okay, let's back out here. We do not have any other earthquakes on land in Japan. Off the east coast of the northernmost island of Japan called Hokkaido here. Hokkaido. This is a 4.9, 5.0 earthquake. 4.9, 5.0 earthquake. Over here, again, on the edge of the Japanese plate. On the edge of the Japanese plate here. 5.0 large earthquake. This energy is far enough away from Hokkaido, did no damage. However, this energy is going to move up this plate. It's going to move north into the offshore areas of Kamchatka Peninsula, Russia. It's going to move over here into the Aleutian Islands, and then it's going to move over here towards Alaska. Over towards Alaska. Now, as this earthquake moves, it might be several days before it reaches the Aleutian Islands. But as it moves here, we'll keep an eye on it and see what happens. It may register as moderate 4.6, 4.7, 4.8 earthquake, but it could register as at least a 5.0 earthquake here in the Aleutian Islands. Now, I've said this before, I'm going to say it again. The seismic energy here in Alaska is locked and loaded. Locked and loaded just like it is over in the Cascadia region, over in the San Francisco Bay region, in Southern California, Los Angeles, and San Diego, and the Imperial Valley. Locked and loaded, ready to go. Again, we have not had a major earthquake since 2019, 7 years ago. 2019, 7 years ago in the summer, we had a 7.1 earthquake hit Anchorage, Alaska. 7.1 earthquake hit Anchorage, Alaska some 7 years ago. Now, guys, I don't believe that's going to happen right now, but it could. It could happen. Could happen. We're going to keep an eye on it and see what happens here. But like I said, seismic energy is locked and loaded from down here in the peninsula of Alaska all the way up here to the north throughout the entire length of the Cook Inlet here, all the way up here to Anchorage, Alaska. We'll see what happens here. See what happens. Now, guys, it could happen. It could very well happen that we have a major earthquake here. Could happen. We hope it doesn't. We hope it doesn't. Now, just briefly, let's go over here to China, Russia, and Europe. We're not showing any earthquakes here in China or Russia, but there have been some earthquakes. There have been some 5.0 earthquakes here in China and Russia, but they're not showing them here on the USGS map. They're not showing any earthquakes in India. They're not showing any earthquakes over here in Afghanistan, Tajikistan, or Pakistan, or Kyrgyzstan. Not showing anything. But there are earthquakes here. There always are earthquakes here. They're just not showing them. Not showing them. They're not showing anything seismically going on here in the Middle East. Nothing in Iran, nothing in Israel, nothing in Saudi Arabia or Oman, nothing. There are some earthquakes going on here. There are some earthquakes going on. As we move over here further into Europe to the west, right here, the border region of Syria and Turkey, there are 36 earthquakes here in the border region of Syria and Turkey. There always will be earthquakes here in the border region of Syria and Turkey. Just over 3 years ago, February 3rd, 2023, we had a 9.0, 10.0 earthquake that hit here. Now, guys, USGS may not be showing anything at all, but there are earthquakes here. There always are. These earthquakes are aftershock. They're aftershocks. That 9.0, 10.0 earthquake that unalived over 5,000 people and injured over 5,000 others and left a 14-mile-long fissure in the ground. Left a 14-mile-long fissure in the ground, 8 stories deep. You could sit at 8-story building inside that fissure, and you only would see the roof from the top of the ground. That's a deep fissure. It's a very long fissure. That's what happens when we have a 9.0, 10.0 earthquake hit. That's it. There are earthquakes in northern Turkey, southern Turkey, central Turkey, and over here in western Turkey as well. USGS almost never shows these earthquakes at all. Nothing. They're not showing any earthquakes here in the Aegean Sea. There are some earthquakes here. There's some earthquakes here. Earthquakes here in Greece. They're not showing them at all. They almost never do. There are 18 earthquakes here in mainland Greece. 18 earthquakes here in mainland Greece. Most of these earthquakes in mainland Greece range in size from 1.0 tremors on up to 3.2 earthquakes. 1.0 tremors to 3.2 earthquakes here in Greece. Let's go over further here to the west here. Okay? Over here in Sicily and Italy, there are some minor earthquakes and tremors over here in southern Italy and northern Sicily. There are some. There are some earthquakes over here. I'm going to spend a couple minutes here in this region. There are some tremors. There are some minor earthquakes here. Vesuvius volcano is right here. It's been rattling and rolling. There are some earthquakes here. Most of these are tremors and minor earthquakes right now. Up until 3 months ago, Vesuvius volcano was steaming. That means the magma beneath the rock that's holding the magma inside was hitting that rock, as I've explained this to you before, was smashing on that rock. What happens, guys? What happens? This is what happens, guys. That volcanic rock cooled after the last eruption. It's at the summit of the volcano. After that magma cooled, or that lava cooled, it left a huge, long, deep volcanic rock, the plug of the volcano. Magma is going from underneath that volcano like this, underneath that plug like this, hammering on it every day. The magma is under pressure inside the volcanic chamber. When that magma hammers at that rock, what happens? After some time, that long piece of rock, that deep piece of lava rock, develops fissures in it, just like the area between my fingers here. Imagine that. Fissures in that rock develop. When that happens, you need to remember this. There are some things we need to remember about magma. 6 to 7% of all magma is water. 6 to 7% of all magma is water. So when that magma is hitting that bottom of the rock, it's forcing that steam from the magma, forcing that water into steam in the magma, and it's forcing that steam out through those tiny cracks in that rock, forcing that steam through the rock like this. That's why we had steam here at Vesuvius. Now there's something else going on here. There's something else going on here closer to Naples. Right here. Campi Flegrei volcanoes here. See all these craters here? These were left after the last time the Vesuvius volcano erupted. These craters here are crater vents, lava vents, left over from one of the last times that the Vesuvius volcano erupted. This is Campi Flegrei. Now, we have more magma down beneath the surface that is hammering on this area. We have earthquakes here. USGS almost never shows any earthquakes here at Campi Flegrei. There are tremors hitting here. There are minor earthquakes hitting here. The authorities here in Italy have evacuated most of the towns around these craters. They've evacuated most of these towns around these craters. But these volcanoes are still moving. Yes, we're calling these craters volcanoes. They're moving. Okay? There is a possibility that Campi Flegrei could erupt. The authorities here in Italy are prepared for that eventuality. Like I said, they have evacuated some people from the parts of the crater that could erupt. Now, when it erupts, what do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? Look closely, guys. Look closely. Around each one of these vents, here, densely populated area, isn't it? We go south here, around Naples. We know that Naples is a major town here in Italy. Densely populated, isn't it? We go further south here, over to Vesuvius. Around Vesuvius volcano, it is also highly populated. To the north, the south, east, and west here, it's highly populated. What happens when either one or both of these volcanoes erupt? We're going to see a lot of lava flowing down the side of the volcano. We may see lava balls coming out of the volcano as well. Remember, none of these volcanoes have erupted for thousands of years. Thousands of years. That means there's going to be an extraordinary eruption here. Everybody in Italy must be prepared. Now, what happens if there's a major eruption here? Ash is going to be flying out of these volcanoes very high, possibly even into the stratosphere, which means the ash is going to be covering this entire area. When that happens, guys, ash comes down back out of the atmosphere, doesn't it? It goes on to the homes and businesses here in this area. This is a very fluid area. We have rain here all the time. What happens when it rains and there's ash on the roofs of these homes and buildings here? That ash turns to concrete, becomes very heavy. And then we have building collapses because the roof collapses into the building, and then the rest of the building collapses, or homes collapse as well. We saw that happen in the Canary Islands on La Palma Island after the Cumbre Vieja volcano erupted several years back. It could happen here in Italy again. I'm just saying this. As I've said before, The Italian authorities have evacuated some people. Some people have had personally evacuated from their homes as well. Some people are living in their cars outside their homes. Some people moved back into the homes after the last evacuation months ago. But these volcanoes are going to go at some point in time. These volcanoes are going to go at some point in time. I'm just saying that. Okay, up here to the north, right in this area right here, we have about 25 to 30 earthquakes hitting here. These earthquakes are 1.0 tremors, 2.0 minor earthquakes, up to 3.2 earthquakes here. About 30 of them. Most of the time, we only have 20 to 30 earthquakes here. Sometimes we have as many as 60. We've already had 2 earthquakes hit here that were 5.0, 5.1 earthquakes hit here in the past year and a half as a result of these earthquake swarms here. USGS not showing it, but on the EMSC map, you can see the earthquakes here. They're still here. Whether USGS wants to admit it or not, they're still here. Just like all the other earthquakes around the world. Just because USGS doesn't show them doesn't mean they didn't occur. They did. More earthquakes are going to hit here. Now, what else is going to happen here? What else is going to happen here? There are some minor tremors over here, minor earthquakes over here in Italy and around the Alps Mountains here in Italy, Switzerland, and Germany. Also France. They have some minor earthquakes around France as well, into northern France here. Down here in southern Spain, more minor earthquakes here and some minor earthquakes in northern Portugal and southern Portugal as well. Out in the Azore Islands offshore of Spain and Portugal. Azore Islands, minor earthquakes here, 2.0 to 2.7 earthquakes here. Happens. Down here in the Canary Islands. In the Canary Islands, we have some minor tremors. Minor tremors, guys. 1.0 to 1.3 tremors here in the Canary Islands. Now, just because we mentioned La Palma Island here, the volcano that erupted was called Cumbre Vieja. Cumbre Vieja, it's right here. Parts of that Cumbre Vieja volcano opened here on the spine of the island right here. Down here to the south on the spine of the island. That caused huge craters to erupt here. Huge craters to erupt. Covered the landscape in lava. That lava, as it was coming out of the volcano, produced ash. Got on top of the roofs here in El Paso, La Palma Island, and other parts of the island, and caused the homes and businesses to collapse because of the heaviness of the ash that was put together by rain that caused ash to turn into concrete. Yeah, that's what happened here just a few years ago. Is it going to happen again here in La Palma Island? I don't believe it's going to happen here for at least a long time. The hot spot that was causing this to erupt here is gone. It has moved. It's moved away from Cumbre Vieja or La Palma Island. I don't think it's going to erupt anytime soon. Now, we can back out here. We can back out here. I talked about this briefly yesterday. This, as you can see it, is the middle of the North Atlantic Fault. Mid-Atlantic Plate. The Mid-Atlantic Plate here. We have earthquakes here. We have tiny minor earthquakes, tremors, and minor earthquakes 2.0, 2.3 out here in the Azore Islands here, coming away from Spain here, right in this area right here. There are other earthquakes coming up from the southern Atlantic Ocean. We are going to have some large earthquakes here in the mid-Atlantic very soon. Down here in the South Atlantic Ocean, in the South Sandwich Islands. Here we have a large 5.1 earthquake here in the South Sandwich Islands. This earthquake here is going to migrate through the Antarctic Ridge here, over here into the South Atlantic Ridge here, the South Mid-Atlantic Fault. This earthquake is going to move here up through the Mid-Atlantic Fault, up here in the Mid-Atlantic here, going up here in the North Mid-Atlantic, and going over here towards Iceland. That's how these earthquakes work. We're going to see this happen very soon, within the next week, within the next 3 to 4 days even, okay? That's what's going on here. Now, USGS is not showing hardly anything going on here in South America. They're showing one earthquake here in northern Chile. One 4.3 earthquake here in northern Chile. That's preposterous. There are 16 earthquakes here in northern Chile. 14 earthquakes further south in central Chile and Argentina. It's preposterous to even show one earthquake when there are at least 46 earthquakes here on the western shoreline of South America. 46 earthquakes here, guys, and they show one. They show one earthquake. That's stupid. That's impossible. That's utterly impossible. Down here in Central America, there are 12 earthquakes here in Central America. They're showing 3 here. This is a 4.95.0 here, 10 miles east-northeast of Jaco, Costa Rica. Jaco, Costa Rica. Further north here, offshore from Nicaragua. This is a 4.5 moderate earthquake here. Going over here to San Salvador. This is a 4.5 earthquake here. 11 miles south-southeast of Conchagua, Nicaragua, or San Salvador. We have more earthquakes here in southern Mexico. 46 earthquakes here in southern Mexico. They're not showing any earthquakes at all. None. That gripes the crap out of me. That literally gripes the crap out of me. Why am I so upset about that? Because this seismic energy here is moving north. Moving north here. It's going to go up here through northern Mexico, up here along the San Andreas Fault through the Gulf of California here. It's going to move here into Southern California. It's going to move north here in Southern California. Fact. Fact, guys. What happened here this weekend? Brawley, California. We're still seeing earthquakes here in Brawley, California. We're going to talk about earthquakes here in Southern California in the next few minutes. Right here. A 2.0 earthquake here, just northwest of Brawley, California. 2.0 minor earthquake here. Right here. 2.1 earthquake here. These are minor earthquakes. 2.0, 2.9 are minor earthquakes here. Seismic energy is still pounding this area. Not violently, but it's still pounding this area with minor earthquakes. Right here, a tremor. Actually, no, it's a 2.0 earthquake. 2.0 earthquake. I misjudged it because they made this earthquake circle smaller. This was a 2.1, this is a 2.0. This earthquake to the south is a 2.4. Minor 2.4 earthquake here. Going to the southwest, southwestern Brawley here. This is a 1.7 tremor here. This is a 2.5 earthquake here. 2.5 minor earthquake here. Further to the southwest here, is a 1.8 tremor here. This earthquake here is a 1.6 tremor here. Down here to the south, this is a 1.6 tremor here. Go back up here to the northwest, a 2.2 minor earthquake here. Then we come back down here to the south, right here, a 1.3 tremor here. This is a 1.1 tremor here. This is a 1.2 tremor here. And down here just outside of Brawley here is a 1.6 tremor here. Now guys, I've been here. I've been here. Long time ago, but I've been here. I was here in Brawley in 1974 for a debate tournament with my high school. I've been in Brawley. No, I don't know Brawley very well anymore, but I've been here. I have friends that live here still. Brawley got hit with moderate earthquakes here this past weekend. Up to 4.8 earthquakes hit here this weekend. Moderate earthquakes that shook this area. Some people got scared. A 4.8 earthquake is just below a large earthquake. 4.8 earthquake does damage. Does damage here, guys. Moderate damage here. I believe that 4.8 earthquake may have been larger than they said it was. I believe it may have been larger than they said it was. We had nearly 450 earthquakes here this past weekend. Nearly 450 earthquakes here in the Imperial Valley here this weekend. This whole area, guys, is called the Imperial Valley. From this part north of the Salton Sea here, going down here on either side of the Salton Sea, it's called the Imperial Valley. All the way down here to the U.S.-Mexican border. It's called the Imperial Valley. Hit with over 450 earthquakes here this past weekend. Could get hit here again. Could get hit here again. Why do I say that? Anytime we have earthquakes of this magnitude that we saw, we can have a larger earthquake. There's a 25% chance of a larger earthquake occurring within the next week to 10 days. Okay? We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. This area is still rocking around Brawley, California. May continue. It might continue for a while now. All these earthquakes now are aftershocks. Aftershocks. Even some of Sunday's earthquakes were aftershocks. Some of Sunday's earthquakes were aftershocks, guys. They can still happen here. They can still happen here. We'll see what happens. Now, I want to go up to the north. I want to talk about earthquakes in Southern California. Southern California. I want to go up to Santa Barbara, California area here. On the San Andreas Fault, north of Santa Barbara. This is a 1.0 tremor here near Frazier Park. Frazier Park, guys. This is on the San Andreas Fault. However, what is here at the junction of this San Andreas Fault here? It's called the Garlic Fault. The Garlic Fault. Up here along the Garlic Fault, we've seen minor earthquakes. We've seen some tremors. We've seen some 3.0, 3.9 small earthquakes. And further up here to the north. Further up here to the north. What happened July 2019? July 4th, 2019. July 3rd, 2019. We had two 6.9 earthquakes. Two 6.9 earthquakes occurred over here in Ridgecrest, California. They took one completely off the map. Saying it didn't happen. It very well much did happen. I still have the data from that earthquake. 2 separate distinct earthquakes hit here. 2 separate distinct 6.4 earthquakes hit here. One was both of them were 6.9 earthquakes. They reduced one of them to 6.4. Took the other one down. That's preposterous, guys. That's preposterous. They should not have done that. That was stupidity. Why am I talking about it right now? There's a reason. Let's go south over here on the Garlock, right here. We have multiple earthquakes right here. Guys, what do they do here in the Mojave Desert? They mine borax out of here. There are quarries here, guys. There are quarries. Right here, outside the quarry here, is a 2.0 earthquake near Johannesburg, California. 2.0 minor earthquake here. This is a 1.6 tremor here. Further down here to the south, this is a 1.4. Also, 11 miles west-southwest of Johannesburg, California. Just south of the Garlock Fault. Then we go further out here to the northeast. Out here to the northeast, guys, what do we have here? Ridgecrest, California. 2 6.9 earthquakes hit on January 3rd. One they took down, the other they redacted and went down to what? 6.4. The next day, January 4th, about 12 noon, we had a 7.1 earthquake here. 7.1 earthquake here in Ridgecrest. There was some damage here. We had the roadways around Ridgecrest damaged. Fissures opened up in the roadways. I still have pictures of those roadways that opened up in huge holes in the roadways, where they became impassable to traffic. There was some damage to homes. Some damage to homes here in Ridgecrest. There was one fire as a result of the earthquake. Up here north of Ridgecrest. Guys, this is Cyril's Valley. Cyril's Valley. A 0.7 microquake today. The 0.7 microquake. Further here to the north, also 19 miles north of Cyril's Valley. 1.7 tremor here. This is a 1.2 tremor here. Cyril's Valley, California. Out here to the west, Kozo Junction. Kozo Junction here. This is a volcanic area. This is very much a volcanic area, guys. Volcano time. Earthquakes here in Kozo Junction. Kozo volcanic field. Earthquakes here are caused by number 1, magma. Magma down beneath the surface. Number 2, men have dug into the upper magmatic chambers of the Kozo volcanic field, pulling steam out of the volcano. Pulling steam out of the volcano to what? To power turbines in this area, to generate electricity for Southern California Edison, and also down in San Diego for San Diego Gas and Electric, probably also, what's it called? I had it on the tip of my tongue. I was going to tell you about it. The major power company in Northern California, they got smacked around because they filed bankruptcy. And the following weeks, they paid their shareholders millions of dollars after they'd filed bankruptcy. Unreal. Unreal. But here in Colza Junction, there are steam boilers here, turbines, powered by steam, generating electricity for these energy conglomerates. All over Colza Volcanic Field, we have about 39, I think it's 39 or 40 turbines here in this area, producing electricity for the energy conglomerates here in California. Unreal. Unreal. Now, why am I talking about that? This area here, south of Colza Volcanic Field, there's a town here called Olancha, California. Olancha, California here. Over here in Olancha, California, we had a lot of earthquakes. Tons of earthquakes. Tons and tons of earthquakes. Between Olancha, California, here to the north, and all the way down south to Ridgecrest, California, even further down south into northern California, into southern California, into northern San Diego County. We had over 5,000 earthquakes between northern San Diego County and Ridgecrest. Over 5,000 earthquakes here between North San Diego County and Ridgecrest. Huge, huge deal. They were minor tremors, 1.0, 1.9, 2.0 to 2.9 minor earthquakes, 3.0, 3.9. There were 4.5 to 5.0 earthquakes all over this area, all over Southern California here. Literally all over Southern California. It happened. What else is here? What else is here? Not just the Garlic Fault, but the Santa Andreas Fault down here to the south. Not just this minor tremor over here in Fraser Park. Down here, east of Santa Barbara. 1.3 tremor here in Fillmore, California. Guess what? It's not just Fillmore, California either. There are 5 other earthquakes here in this area. 5 other earthquakes here that they're not even telling us about. Not even telling us about. How about this one? Right next to it. A 2.2 minor earthquake here. 2.2 minor earthquake. There are earthquakes here in Thousand Oaks, California, Simi Valley, California, Santa Clarita, Los Angeles, California, right here. Moore Park, California, guys. Moore Park, California. 1.5 tremor here. We also have a 2.5, 2.7, and 2.8 earthquakes here in Moore Park, California. Offshore here, right here, off of Marina Del Rey, California. This is a 1.8 tremor here. 1.8 tremor here. Marina Del Rey is a harbor area here for very expensive boats. Marina Del Rey is a harbor area for very expensive boats here. South of Marina Del Rey, we have Playa del Rey down here. Playa del Rey. Guys, we have a bunch of tremors here, both Playa del Rey and Marina Del Rey. Bunches and bunches of tremors. But of course, they're not going to tell us about it, are they? Caltech and USGS has cut off our seismographs. The seismographs were computer readouts from the seismographs. Seismographs were the machines. We had up until this last year, in the last year, we had seismographs to show you what was going on here. We could read the seismographs to tell you exactly what's happening here, but they shut those down for us. Almost all the seismographs here in Southern California are not available to any of us individuals, any of us civilians. But just because they don't show any earthquakes here doesn't mean they're not happening. They are happening, but they're not showing them here. I've proven that over the years. Okay? Santa Monica here. There's a small municipal airport in Santa Monica. At Santa Monica Regional Airport here, we showed tremors and minor earthquakes here. They're not showing any here. None. Why not? Why not? Okay? Not showing them. They don't want to admit it to anybody what's actually going on here. Right here, Rancho Palos Verdes. Unreal. Huge area here, guys. Huge area here. Rancho Palos Verdes, we had some tremors and minor earthquakes here. Always, guys, always. They're not showing anything here. Interesting. By the way, my wife was born in this town just south of Rancho Palos Verdes, right there. Right there. Okay? Then we come down here to Long Beach. Up until the end of last year, we were showing you the seismogram here in Long Beach. It had tremors. It had minor earthquakes, 2.0, 2.9. It had small 3.0, 3.5 earthquakes here every day, all day long in Long Beach, California. All day long here in Long Beach, California. Unreal. Unreal, guys. Anaheim, California. We show you a seismogram here from Anaheim, California at least once a week. Anaheim, California, the same thing as Long Beach. The seismogram was top to bottom, side to side, earthquakes and tremors. Earthquakes and tremors. Tremors 1.0, 1.9, 2.0, 2.9 minor earthquakes, 3.0, 3.5 earthquakes here in Anaheim, California, where Disneyland and Knott's Berry Farm are. We told you what happened when those 3.0s and 3.5 earthquakes happen. During the daytime, during operating hours for those amusement parks, they had to shut the rides down and make sure the cars and the track were secured to each other to make sure no cars were going to derail from the park. Down here, we have another earthquake here. This is southwest of Corona, California. 1.0 tremor here. 1.0 tremor here. That's all fine and good. That's just great. What else happened here? They've taken it down. They've taken it down here, guys. What was out here? What was out here, guys? Look what we have here. A quarry. There's a lot of quarries out here, guys. Lots and lots of quarries. Guess what? They had sad, they had a 2.7 minor earthquake right here. They called it a quarry blast. They called it a quarry blast here, guys. Right next to homes in this area. Right next to homes in this area. It was not a quarry blast at all. It was another minor earthquake here. Minor earthquake. USGS has taken it down. There's no evidence of it on their map any longer today. It was here earlier today. They've taken it down. Unreal. I want to show you that because they often don't know what they're talking about. They often don't know what they're talking about. Okay, they do it all the time. They do it all the time, guys. Now, I'm going up here to Rancho Cucamonga. I'm going up here to Fontana as well. Fontana, Upland, Claremont, Laverne, Pomona, Glendora as well. Guess what? Earthquakes. Earthquakes and tremors all throughout this region. All throughout this region, guys. There are earthquakes. Here in Fontana, we used to show you a seismogram here from Fontana. Yes, here in Fontana, this seismogram shows a lot of tremors, 1.0, 1.9. Showed us a lot of minor earthquakes, 2.0, 2.9. Here in Fontana, at the end of last year, we had 3.0 earthquakes here all the time. 2 to 3.0 earthquakes here every day. Every day. Now they're not showing anything going on here at all. Doesn't mean it's not happening, because it is. They're just not showing what's going on here. We'll go further to the southeast here. Right here. Redlands, California. 1.4 tremor here. Guys, for the past week, we've had a small swarm of tremors, or maybe we can call it a cache of tremors and minor earthquakes here. Cache of tremors, minor earthquakes. They're still here. They're still here. This is a 1.8 tremor. This is 1.4 tremor. 1.5 tremor here. Going north here. 1.1 tremor here in Redlands. Going north here. 1.7 tremor. 0.6 tremor. Going up here. Another 0.6 tremor here. Redlands, California. Redlands, California, guys. This area is not being felt at all. Tremors cannot be felt at all. Minor earthquakes 2.0, 2.9 cannot be felt at all, except maybe very, very sensitive people. But once the earthquakes turn to 3.0 and larger, they most assuredly can be felt. They most assuredly can be felt. They happen. They happen here, guys. Just because the agency says they aren't here, they are. Every day. Yucaipa, Redlands, San Bernardino, they're here. They're here. Right here you see the San Andreas Fault here. You see the San Andreas Fault, guys? It's here. It's here, guys. It's real. It's real. This area of the San Andreas Fault is locked and loaded. Locked and loaded. They're telling us that the San Andreas Fault is locked and loaded, and it can be had to be a 6.5 to 7.5 earthquake here. 6.5 to 7.5 earthquake here. When that happens, all these other earthquake faults throughout Los Angeles are going to be hit. The seismic energy here is going to bounce off the other earthquake faults here throughout Los Angeles, and you're going to feel seismic energy all over Los Angeles here. Homes are going to be damaged. Buildings are going to be damaged here. Over here closer to the fault, we may see huge fissures erupting in the ground here. Huge fissures erupting in the ground here because of the earthquake. It can happen. Probably will happen again. Now, over here in Orange County, guys, we are still seeing earthquakes here. This earthquake here was the Redlands I told you about, I'm sorry. Going further south here, right here. San Jacinto, California, Orange County. This is 0.3 microquake. This is 0.3 Idlewild, California, San Bernardino Mountains. 0.8 microquake, Idlewild, California. When we showed you the seismogram from Idlewild, it always had tremors here. Tremors and microquakes. It's still happening here. Here, Anza Gap, the Anza-Borrego Desert State Park, North San Diego County. North San Diego County. I'm going to talk significantly about San Diego County in just a minute. Earthquakes are hitting here. Hitting here in North San Diego County. This earthquake is a 0.5 microquake on the Pala Indian Reservation, northeast San Diego County. Further to the south here, Anza-Borrego Desert State Park, northeast San Diego County. 1.7 tremor here. 0.4 microquake here. 0.6 microquake. 0.5 microquake. Further south here, Borrego Springs, also part of the Anza-Borrego Desert State Park. This is 0.7 microquake. 1.0 tremor here in Borrego Springs, Anza-Borrego Desert State Park. Then we go further over here to the southwest. Again, San Diego, California, near Julian, 6 miles northeast of Julian, California, San Diego County, East San Diego County. 1.1 tremor here. Guys, this is 0.7. This time, this earthquake is in the Imperial Valley. The Imperial Valley here, on the east side of the Chocolate Mountains. The Chocolate Mountain Ridge here is the border between San Diego County and the Imperial Valley here. Going all the way down here to the US-Mexican border. And all the way out here to the west to the beach areas. Imperial Beach, California. San Ysidro, California here. San Ysidro, California, where the border crossing is. South San Diego County here. Yes, they do have tremors and earthquakes here. They're just not showing them here. They're just not showing them here. All throughout this area here, we have earthquakes. They don't want to show them here. There's something else you need to know here. Coming out of Los Angeles here. Coming out of Los Angeles here, we have the Newport Inglewood Fault. Comes out here in the ocean. It hooks up with what they call the Rose Canyon Fault. The Rose Canyon Fault. The Rose Canyon Fault runs along the coastline of Southern California here. Runs along the coastline here in the San Diego County. Just south of San Clemente is San Diego County. San Clemente is Orange County. San Onofre nuclear power plant here is in San Diego County. Right between San Clemente and San Onofre is where San Diego starts. San Diego County. Again, it runs all the way over here to the west. All the way over here to the west to the desert. To the desert area right here. Anza-Borrego Desert State Park, northeast San Diego County. Earthquakes, guys. Earthquakes. Now, the Rose Canyon Fault continues south out here in the ocean. Continues south out here in the ocean until it gets to about Encinitas. south of Carlsbad. And Encinitas, the Rose Canyon Fault goes inland here. Then follows the coastline here all the way into San Diego City. This is San Diego County out here. San Diego County out here. The Rose Canyon Fault goes inland here along the coastline down here into San Diego City. Then the Rose Canyon Fault continues out here in the San Diego Bay. The Rose Canyon Fault is capable of a 7.0 earthquake. The Rose Canyon Fault is capable of a 7.0 earthquake. Remember that. Yes, the San Andreas Fault runs on the east side of San Diego County, over in the Imperial County on the east side of the Salton Sea. But because it carries such possibilities of major earthquakes, those major earthquakes are going to also be felt over here in San Diego County. But there are other ancillary faults here in San Diego County as well. Now, just because those ancillary faults are here does not mean that we're not going to see a major earthquake here. What it does mean, there is a possibility of a good size 5.0 to 6.0 earthquake here in Poway, California, here, right there. Poway, California, right there. Also out here to Santee and Lakeside. I used to live out here in Lakeside. Twice. During the few years I lived here in Lakeside, we had a 5.6 and a 5.9 earthquake here. 5.6 and a 5.9 earthquake here, we felt here in Lakeside. Those earthquakes originated from near downtown San Diego, but we felt them here in Lakeside and Santee, East San Diego County. They happen. Now, as I have explained before, my parents had a house, or they had several houses here in Poway, California. I lived exclusively in at least two of those homes. Then when I was in Sweden, my parents moved out of their homes, out of two of the homes, moved over to Boulder Point Drive, where my parents lived until my mother died. While they were in Poway, we had another 5.6 earthquake. But the fact of the matter is, that earthquake occurred here in Vista, California, where I lived at the time. Vista, California, 5.6 earthquake here. This is North San Diego County. Earthquakes happen here, guys. That 5.6 earthquake could have done major damage. It didn't. At the time, I lived on top of a hill here in Vista, California. The bottom of the hill was a park in Vista, California. We lived at the top of that hill in a home that was built in 1907. That home was made of adobe bricks, 12-inch long adobe bricks, 4 inches high and 12 inches long, and 4 inches thick, all around the home. The home was laid out in an X like this. Okay? One X here, one part of the X here was a kitchen and dining room. Another X on the other side was our living room. On the north side of the living room, on the other part of the X, were 2 bedrooms. 2 bedrooms where our daughters and son were. On this side of the X is where my wife and I had a bedroom. That home rocked. That home moved. My wife at the time grabbed me where I couldn't hardly breathe. She was scared out of her mind. She was scared out of her mind. She saw the glass, those ancient windows, glass, moving like the waves of the wind, waves of the seashore, waves of the ocean. The glass is moving like waves of the ocean. The house was rocking. The floor was moving. All of us were scared. As soon as I possibly could get footing on the floor, I ran across the house to check on the girls. Guess what? They were still sound asleep. They slept through the earthquake. Unreal. I did not get so lucky to sleep through an earthquake later in Lakeside. One earthquake hit at 7 a.m. in the morning. Threw me out of bed. I told this story to some of you that have been here. Threw me out of bed. I landed on the floor right beside my bed, right beneath a plate glass window. I think it was probably 3.5 feet long window and 3 foot wide. Okay? Unreal. I saw the glass of that window also move like waves in the ocean. I thought, this is not good. What if that glass breaks? It didn't take me but just seconds to get off that floor, over on my bed and roll across the bed, throw a pair of pants on, get a shirt, putting that shirt on, standing in the middle of a doorway. That's what we were told to do back in the day. Stand in the middle of a door jamb. They said that was the safest place to be. That's not. It's not. What if the raptors start coming down on top of you? In my case, I had a full apartment above me. I had my neighbor lady above me. Our building was shaking. Now, when I was standing in the middle of that doorway, I saw pieces of my ceiling falling to the ground and hitting on our carpet, my carpet. I thought, this is not good. The ground was still shaking. It shook for a long time. The ground shook for several minutes this time. I ran over to my front door and I flew literally through the front door open. Stood in the doorway there, and then I realized something even more dangerous. There was a concrete landing above my doorway where my neighbor entered her apartment. That concrete doorway was flecking off pieces of concrete hitting on my porch. I'm going, this is not good. So I ran out my doorway, out underneath that piece of concrete, out to an open air area where no trees, no light poles, and no buildings were at. There was another building over here to the south. A little old Indian man, maybe 80 years old, came rushing out of his apartment and grabbed hold of me. Literally forcing the air out of my lungs. That's how strong this little old Indian man was, forcing the air out of my lungs. Then that lady, my neighbor lady from up above me, ran down her stairs over to me, and between the two of them, they were choking the air out of my lungs. Choking the air out of my lungs. I could hardly think. Then I heard a very bad sound. Water sloshing, guys. Up until that time, I had no idea we still had a pool. We had a swimming pool on the north side of my building. Guess what? Water was flying out of that pool. I'm going, oh, great. Oh, great. I looked over there, and yes, water was running out of the pool area over in the grassy area where I was standing. I was maybe 20 feet from the pool. I thought, oh my God, what else could happen? Shortly after that, Earth stopped shaking. The Earth stopped shaking. But the sad thing was, shortly after the Earth stopped shaking, I went back into my apartment and the phone rang. My police captain told me to put on my uniform and to go pick up my partner, use only surface streets because the highways were probably damaged. He told me to go pick up my partner, Nick, and to go help the highway patrol check the highways in East San Diego County, going into San Diego City. That we did. We closed down 2 freeway bridges. 2 freeway bridges on Interstate 8 in San Diego County. We closed down 2 bridges, guys, with huge cracks in the bridges. The one bridge that was closer into San Diego City, guess what? The crack was that wide. The crack in the highway pavement was that wide. And it went all the way through the bridge, where you can see down to the ground beneath the bridge, which was a roadway. So not only did we have to close off the bridge, but we caught San Diego City over there to close off that roadway as well. Unreal. Unreal. Several other roadways throughout San Diego County were also shut down. Incredible. So I've been through 3 5.0 plus earthquakes. 3 5.0 plus earthquakes in San Diego County. Let's talk about this. Let's seriously talk about this, guys. It needs to be talked about. San Diego is widely recognized as the birthplace of California. I've talked about this before. I showed the pictures of downtown San Diego and Old Town San Diego State Historic Park. Old Town San Diego Historic Park. Beautiful little place. Not just historic buildings, but they had restaurants and other things there. And one of the first buildings that was built was a jail. Was a jail in Old Town San Diego County. Old Town San Diego City. San Diego County spans roughly 65 miles north to south from the Mexican border, 86 miles east to west from the beaches of Southern California over to Orange County, Riverside, and east over here to Imperial County as well. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. I'm going to take down the USGS map. I'm going to show you another map here. It's important. It's really important, guys, or I would not even bring it up. Okay? Let's talk about San Diego County here. I'm showing you all of San Diego County here. All of San Diego County. Now, guys, I'm going to take the name San Diego County map down here. I want to only show you the northern border of San Diego County, which also goes up to Orange County and Riverside to the north, and out to the Imperial Valley on the east, and down here the border on the south. Okay? San Diego County. Okay? Goes all the way down to Tijuana, Tecate area, out to the Imperial Valley, and west of the ocean. San Diego has had 12 earthquakes in the past 7 days. 12 earthquakes in the past 7 days. They've been minor tremors and minor 2.0 earthquakes. Minor tremors and minor 2.0 earthquakes in San Diego County in the past 7 days. 20 earthquakes in the past 30 days. 20 earthquakes in the past 30 days. Today, Carlsbad, California here, guys. Carlsbad, you can see on the map here. North San Diego County. Offshore Carlsbad, 2.0 earthquake here. 2.0 earthquake here. San Diego County as well as Los Angeles is earthquake country. Southern California is earthquake country, as we've been told, and as I've shown you over the past 7 years. Understanding the risk and preparing to survive and recover these earthquakes might help keep you and your family safe. Might help you keep you and your family safe. Most people in San Diego County live less than 15 miles from a fault. Most people in San Diego County live less than 15 miles from a fault line. These fault lines can have a very damaging earthquake on them. These fault lines can have a very damaging earthquake, such as, like I told you about the Rose Canyon Fault, offshore from North San Diego County until it enters North San Diego County and Encinitas and goes all the way down through downtown San Diego out into San Diego Harbor. Unreal. Unreal. Then we have the Elsinore Fault. The Elsinore Fault coming out of Lake Elsinore, California. I have shown you that fault before. The Elsinore Fault goes over to Palomar Mountain, again, North San Diego County. Palomar Mountain, North San Diego County. Northeast of Escondido there that you see here. Northeast of Escondido, we have Palomar Mountain there. Okay, Palomar Mountain. The Elsinore Fault goes on the south. It comes from Lake Elsinore over in Orange County, goes all the way through San Diego County towards Julian. Then we have another fault, this time coming out of East Los Angeles area. It's called the San Jacinto Fault. The San Jacinto Fault. It also goes all the way through Orange County, Hemet, California, all the way through Marietta, California, down into San Diego County, northeast San Diego County, northeast San Diego County, northeast of Palomar Mountain. Then it continues east into the Imperial Valley. Continues east in the Imperial Valley. Interesting enough. These earthquake faults can have very devastating circumstances on San Diego County and also over in the Imperial Valley. Okay? Now, different parts of the county can have different natural disasters, just like tornadoes on the Midwest or hurricanes in the South. Those in the U.S. mostly deal with wildfires, earthquakes, and droughts. Southern California has its wildfires. Northern California has its wildfires. And they have their droughts all over the western United States. But why is there more seismic activity in one part of the country or the other? Let's talk about this. We have people that monitor the EMA program, the Emergency Management Associates program here on YouTube, literally from all over the country. From the Pacific Northwest in volcano country, all the way down here in San Diego County, across the country, all the way to the East Coast. The reason the western United States sits on active plate boundaries. The western United States sits on active plate boundaries. The Pacific Plate, most of it. The Pacific Plate. While the eastern part of the United States is a stable interior of the tectonic plate. The eastern United States sits on a stable interior of the North American plate. The West sits also on a thin crust with high heat flow. Why do we have high heat flow here in Southern California. Can you say magma? Magma coming off the Pacific plate, flowing over here to the volcanoes? Yes, to the volcanoes, guys. The Sultan Butte volcano over here in Imperial County. Then we have the Walnut La Puente volcano over here east of Los Angeles. Then northeast of Los Angeles, we have what else? The Coza Volcanic Field. The Coza Volcanic Field. Magma is flowing from the Pacific plate into Southern California all the time. All the time. The entire West Coast sits on a thin crust. A thin crust with high heat flow from the magma inside the crust. Volcanism. Volcanism, guys. I just talked about two volcanoes, one in Imperial Valley and one over in Los Angeles. Those contribute to the rapid movement of the Earth's surface and the faults. Heat flow, volcanism, and tectonic plate. Rapid movement of the Earth's surface and the faults. The United States Geological Survey reports that the Western United States has been tectonically active since a supercontinent, Pangaea, broke up 200 million years ago. Before the San Andreas Fault was formed, about 30 million years ago. Rocks in eastern North America are older. They've been exposed to extreme temperatures, making them harder and denser on the East Coast. The rocks in the West are younger and broken up by the faults. They're also younger. Another factor is why earthquakes cause more damage in the East is vulnerable infrastructure. Vulnerable infrastructure. This is an important fact. Okay? Vulnerable infrastructure. The infrastructure in the West, they've been having earthquakes for a very long time, haven't they? But because we don't have that many earthquakes on the East Coast, the people here that are supposed to be in the know have not made preparations for any kind of major earthquake here on the East Coast. Not at all. Not at all. Most of the homes and buildings here on the East Coast are not even prepared for any kind of large or major earthquake at all. None. The Western United States sits on plate boundaries. Sits along boundaries of major tectonic plates that make up Earth's crust. The North American plate and the Pacific plate to the west. San Diego County is bordered by several fault zones. The Rose Canyon Fault on the west, along the coastline beneath downtown San Diego, and like I said, the Elsinore and the San Jacinto Fault to the east. All of San Diego County is located within what they call Seismic Zone 4, which is the highest seismic zone. The highest seismic zone, guys, and is prone to major ground shaking. San Diego County is prone to major ground shaking. The region's high seismic activity was brought back into the spotlight after a series of more than 300 earthquakes rattled the Imperial Valley this past weekend. Earthquake swarms struck in the Brawley seismic zone in the Imperial Valley, like we talked about. A highly seismic risk zone, a very high seismic risk zone that connects with the Imperial Fault, which is the San Andreas. When the San Andreas Fault enters the Imperial Valley, they term it the Imperial Fault. The high seismic risk zone connects with the Imperial Fault and the San Andreas to the north, the same fault. The San Andreas and the San Jacinto Fault are more than 60 miles away from the most populated areas of San Diego County. 60 miles away from the most populated areas of San Diego County. However, because both of those faults have the possibility of major earthquake energy hitting them. Now we're talking about 7.0 plus earthquake energy. 7.0 plus earthquake hitting those areas. The San Jacinto and the Imperial Valley. San Andreas Fault. Because those faults are going to hit, those earthquakes are going to hit those faults, San Diego County is going to feel the brunt of that energy as well. San Diego County is going to feel the brunt of that energy as well. As I spoke about many times in the past, I've been in earthquakes here in San Diego County. We're going to talk about a 7.1 earthquake hit south in northern Mexico in just about a minute. These earthquakes that hit here, either on the San Jacinto, the Rose Canyon, or the San Andreas Fault to the east in the Imperial Valley, these earthquakes are going to disrupt services like electricity, disrupt water, and disrupt sewer. They may also limit access in and out of the region. Access in and out of the region. In San Diego City, down along the coastline here, you see downtown San Diego here. You see downtown San Diego here. There's a highway called Interstate 8 running from downtown, actually not even downtown, but west downtown over here near Mission Bay here, running from Mission Bay all the way out into Arizona, out into Yuma, Arizona, going through El Centro. Interstate 8 goes through El Centro. So if anybody has a major earthquake here, Interstate 8 is going to be damaged. East-west travel along Interstate 8 is going to be damaged. You also see Interstate 15 running from downtown, not actually just north of downtown San Diego, all the way up to Yellowstone National Park. Interstate 15. You also see Interstate 5, north-south roadway here, going up through Los Angeles, up through San Francisco, Oregon, and into Washington State. Interstate 5 here. Besides Interstate 5, we have Interstate 805, which shuttles part of the traffic from Interstate 5, still going north, but it's further east, but still going north back into Interstate 5, which funnels into Los Angeles. Okay? These north-south roadways or highways are also going to be the brunt of damage when these earthquakes hit. They're going to be the brunt of damage when earthquakes hit here, guys. It's not even a positive thing. It's going to be negative. Okay? Fire and police departments will be dealing with most serious situations. They might be unable to respond quickly to issues in your communities. Government assistance may not be available for days and even weeks. Insurance companies probably won't be able to respond to you to even assess your properties. And because of insurance companies the way they are in California and all the way along the West Coast, most insurers are not even covering earthquake damage. Most insurers are not even covering earthquake damage. Unreal. Unreal. That's a fact, guys. That's a fact. And even if they do, they probably will not assess your property to give you enough money in compensation for your damage, to replace your damaged belongings, or to repair your home. Most earthquake insurers here in Southern California pulled out of California. They're not selling earthquake insurance because of the risk. Most San Diegans live less than 15 miles from the Rose Canyon Fault. Some San Diegans live closer to the Elsinore Fault. Unreal. The Elsinore Fault is in East County, San Diego. If a major earthquake were to happen during fire season, fire damage could exceed the damage caused by the shaking. Fire season in North San Diego County is bad. Encinitas, you see here. We've had wildfires in Carlsbad and Encinitas, north of Escondido, out east of Escondido as well, out east over into Julian, Lakeside in that area, all the way over to the Imperial Valley. Fires. Fire damage could exceed earthquake shaking damage. Unreal. When people think about natural disasters in San Diego County, most thoughts are likely put towards wildfires and landslides. But residents of San Diego City and San Diego area are far more susceptible to earthquake damage than most people think. In Southern California, the San Andreas Fault often gets most attention, and both it and the San Jacinto Fault, the state's second most active fault, runs directly through northeast San Diego County. And like I said, there are a lot of people in San Diego County. They're not far away from either the San Jacinto or the Rose Canyon Fault. Most populated areas in the county: Poway, Escondido, San Marcos, Vista, California, Oceanside, Carlsbad, Encinitas, La Jolla, then into San Diego City. You see Torrey Pines here on the map. Torrey Pines here on the map, guys. Just south of Torrey Pines is one of the most populated, most affluent areas of San Diego County called La Jolla. La Jolla. Then you go down to San Diego City, another very affluent area with very expensive buildings and very expensive properties in San Diego City. Then you go down south, have Coronado Island, North Island Naval Air Station. Out to the east, you have the San Diego City area. You also see Naval Station San Diego. You see National City. You see Chula Vista and San Isidro down to the west or down to the south at the Mexican border. Now, yes, San Diego County can have major earthquakes. They can suffer major damage from the earthquakes. Earthquakes are a problem for all of Southern California. However, it might surprise you to know that the major fault called the Rose Canyon Fault, again off the coast and back on the coast, Encinitas, going all the way down the coast, following the coastline, inland, going all the way down into San Diego City, out into San Diego Harbor. Major fault, capable of a 7.0, 7.5 earthquake. Goes right through downtown La Jolla and northward along the coast up to Encinitas. This should be very much a very major concern for all citizens in San Diego County. When that fault goes, all of San Diego County is going to feel that 7.0 plus earthquake. All of San Diego County is going to feel those 7.0, 7.5 earthquakes, either in the San Jacinto or the Rose Canyon Fault. It's going to happen. There are also other ancillary faults throughout San Diego County as well, going east and west and north. Now, given this situation, hundreds of other active faults are scattered throughout the region. Even though there are long periods between earthquakes, sometimes on any particular fault, often much greater times than even a human lifetime. One or two of the many hundreds of faults has a significant earthquake every decade or so. There have been no major earthquakes happen since 2010 in San Diego County. So now we're talking about a decade and a half since the last major earthquake that hit San Diego County as well. I'm talking about the border area over in south of the Imperial Valley. That major earthquake was felt in San Diego County as well. 7.1 earthquake. As I've explained before, I saw plate glass windows from 14-story high buildings fall to the ground and shatter on the sidewalks and pavement near those multi-high-rise buildings. Unreal. I've seen it. It is possible for a large earthquake on the El Centro, the San Jacinto Faults, or even the San Andreas to cause much more shaking in San Diego County than they have recently experienced, with damage greatest in North and East County. The greatest damage is going to be North and East County, San Diego County. Escondido, Poway, where my parents lived, Julian, where I told you about apple festivals and apple pie and hot apple cider in Julian. And many other communities are very close to the San Jacinto Fault. San Diego County, on the other hand, does not have the history of earthquakes common to the rest of Southern California. The Rose Canyon Fault, the only major earthquake fault active in the urban part of San Diego County, has not produced a major earthquake since long before European settlers arrived in the area. That means over 100 plus years. Over 100 plus years. San Diego County is due a major earthquake on the Rose Canyon Fault. It is considered active by the state of California, as it has a history of earthquakes in the last 11,000 years. Our relative short history in this region has created a very, very false sense of security, a very, very false sense of immunity from earthquakes in the San Diego area. But a major earthquake, a major earthquake along the length of the Rose Canyon Fault, or even the San Jacinto Fault, could result in devastating consequences. Devastating consequences. The proximity of the fault to the city center and the main economic hubs could put San Diego City itself and the entire area on hold for months and even years. Could put San Diego City and the major economic hubs coming out of the city on hold for months and even years. Most residents are less than 15 miles from the fault, or from any fault, including the San Jacinto. And ground shaking from a major event is sure to cause damage throughout the entire county. Earthquake damage to buildings, to infrastructure, and secondary effects such as fires caused by the earthquakes. They're often started in earthquake situations from gas pipelines, both natural gas and petroleum gas, that are flowing beneath the crust that we walk on in San Diego County and Los Angeles County as well. All residents of San Diego County are in danger here. If a major earthquake occurs during fire season, then the fire damage could easily exceed the damage caused by the shaking. But still, with proper planning and preparedness, these potential losses can be greatly reduced. The Southern California Earthquake Status Center says the Brawley Fault Zone in Imperial County usually produces a magnitude 6.0 earthquake every 30 to 40 years. Given the last earthquakes that have hit the Brawley, California area, most of these earthquakes have been 5.0 to 5.5. That means the Brawley Fault Zone area, the Imperial Valley, is still well overdue from having a very strong 6-point plus earthquake in the Imperial Valley. And yet to the north, on the San Andreas Fault that runs through the Imperial Valley, we're due to see a 7.5 earthquake. A 7.5 earthquake that could extend down here to the Imperial Valley and could be felt also over in San Diego City. Take that with your coffee. In 2010, like I said a few minutes ago, in 2010, Southern California was shaken up by a 7.1 major earthquake, originating just south of the border in northern Mexico, in the province of Guadalupe, Victoria. That earthquake shook all of the Imperial Valley, all of San Diego County, and all the way north to northern Los Angeles, through Orange County and then up to northern Los Angeles as well. Unreal. Now, while these kind of earthquakes don't strike very often in San Diego County or even LA or the Imperial Valley, one of the many hundreds of faults in the region has a significant earthquake about every decade. And what I'm doing now is urging residents, urging everyone in Southern California to stay vigilant for a large earthquake on the Elsinore, the San Jacinto, and the San Andreas Faults. Now, if there's any one good thing we can talk about here, the good thing is right now, preparing now will give you confidence that you and your family will stay safe when the earth shakes. Preparing now is going to give you confidence. Preparing now is going to give you not only confidence, but also give you things that you're going to need when the earthquake strikes, when the damage strikes. At least you're going to have some things you're going to need to survive the quake. Do we have any questions here? Laura Maria's in my chat. She and I go way back years and years. She and I graduated from Poway High School in Poway, California, that you see here on the map. We did. Laura, I cherish those times. Those sweet, wonderful times. I love those times. Do we have any questions about anything we talked about? Any questions, guys? Nancy Wolfer says, what does the crown mean with your name? That means you are a member of our EMA family. You're a member of our EMA family. You've been here a lot of times before. YouTube is giving you that crown on our chat. We appreciate that. Anyway, guys, I want to leave you with a thought here. My thought is coming from Philippians here. Philippians. Now, Paul in Corinthians 1 and 2, Philippians, Thessalonians, Colossians, and such, Paul gives thanks for the people. Paul gives thanks for the people that believe in Jesus Christ. Paul gives thanks to the people that believe in Jesus Christ. In the first chapter of Philippians, in verse 27, only let your conversation be as it becomes the gospel of Christ, that whether I come and see you or not, or else be absent, I may hear of your affairs, that ye stand fast in one spirit, with one mind, striving together for the faith of the gospel of Christ. That's a wonderful thing. I'm asking you all also to do the same thing. Stand fast. Stand fast in your faith. Stand up for what you believe in. Stand up for what you believe in. Teach your family the gospel of Christ. Teach them about the Holy Ghost, testifies of Jesus Christ. The Holy Spirit will bless your home. The Holy Spirit will bless your home. I guarantee it. I have a testimony of it as it's happened to me. It's happened to Laura and many other people here in the chat, including Heather. God blesses those people who love him. God blesses those people who love him. Now, Paul also goes over to teach us in chapter 2 here. He says, fulfill ye my joy, that ye be like-minded, having the same love, being of one accord, of one mind. Let nothing be done through strife or vainglory, but in lowliness of mind. Let each esteem other better than themselves. Look not every man on his own things, but every man also on the things of others. Esteem everyone. Let this mind be in you, which was also in Christ Jesus. Let's be more like Christ, guys. Let's be more like Christ. I have a testimony of Jesus Christ, a strong testimony of Jesus Christ. Please, guys, please teach your family, teach your children and grandchildren about our Savior. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord bless you with things you stand in need of. Also, please don't forget Rebecca. Don't forget Rebecca in your prayers tonight. As I stated in the beginning of our program tonight, earlier this morning she lost her mother. I've been there. I've done that. Many of us also have done that, been through it. It's hard. It's very hard. Please keep her in our prayers. Keep her in our prayers, guys. Let's bless her life as well and her family's. She's also going through cancer treatment as well. May God lift her up in her prayers and help heal her body and her family. May God bless you. May God bless you in all you do and all you say, in your lives and your family's lives. May God be with you this day and always. We love you guys. We love you very much. May God be with you until we meet again. If anything happens tonight, we'll be back on there to tell you about it as soon as the information becomes available. Until then, we'll see you tomorrow evening, tomorrow afternoon, sometime after 4 p.m. with another episode of Emergency Management Associates on the air here on YouTube. God be with you until we meet again. We'll see you on the other side. Good night, everybody. Much love. Take care. See you soon. Good night.
Here at Emergency Management Associates, we're dedicated and true, bringing you the essential knowledge, helping you see things through. From disaster preparedness to navigating recovery's embrace, we're here to guide you in every unpredictable time and place. We break down the complex, make it easy to grasp and absorb, sharing strategies for safety, the vital lessons you can't afford to hoard. So thank you for watching, and thank you so much for your sub. You're a key part of our growing family, a member of our knowledge club. With every like, every share, and every comment you send our way, our critical message spreads further, helping more people every single day. Together we're stronger and more prepared. That's the truth we all abide. You help us build resilience with nowhere for uncertainty to hide. Your engagement truly inspires us. Your feedback acts as a guiding light, helping us continually grow and making our channel's future bright. We're always learning, always striving to be better, bring you the most up-to-date information watching, keep learning, because we truly appreciate all that you do. Thank you. Thank you.